There it is again, that strong desire to declutter. It's coming up. I'm feeling it and I'm starting to take action. If you're watching this video, chances are you're feeling that strong desire too. I'm going to explain why, from a spiritual perspective, you feel the strong need to declutter. This need has come up in me many, many times. And I go through these periods of looking around and seeing just like stuff, junk, I could term it junk, whatever, things that aren't used anymore that I no longer need, no longer want, no longer have an attachment to, that I feel like it's time to get rid of. And this happens throughout our growth. What's really happening from a spiritual perspective is that we are expanding, our consciousness is expanding. In order for that to happen, we need to create space within the body so that we can ground more of our higher self. And in order to do that, we rise in frequency. We got to encounter the density. We got to feel the density so that we could release the density and create more space to ground more of that multidimensional energy. So when we're vibrating to this frequency of needing to declutter, we're really moving away from old patterns of holding on to and having and fulfilling. A lot of times when we're feeling unfulfilled because we're disconnected from our soul's energy, we want to fill that space with something, right? And we tend to fill it with stuff and it accumulates. I know when we moved into the house we're currently in here, it was much bigger than the older house. And I thought to myself, I said, wow, I'm never going to fill this house with stuff. Well, sure enough, over the years, you accumulate stuff and the house is full. And that is a reflection of my stuck energy. And that reflection is showing me that I need to create more space so that I can breathe, so that I can expand, so that I can rise in frequency. And in order for that to happen, I need to get rid of stuff. See, that's the effect. The cause is the expansion in consciousness, creating more space within the body by healing. And the effect is releasing the attachment to old stuff, old programming, things that maybe I purchased or bought or accumulated because I had this desire or need to fill some sort of hole. I was feeling unfulfilled. Well, now that I am connected to my multidimensional energy, my consciousness is expanding. I no longer have the programming. I no longer have the attachment to the stuff. So it's time to let it go. This is what happens as we grow. If you're going through these growth periods and you're feeling like you need to declutter, that is exactly what's happening within you. So how do we deal with this? Do we just like shed everything? Do we sell the house? Do we go live like in a box by the river, or van down by the river, right? What do we do? Well, what we do is we recognize the energy that is rising from within. That energy, high frequency light, as it's trying to find its home within your body, is creating space. So it literally reflects out into your external reality everything that is in the way. Now, if your senses are constantly perceiving stuff, not a lot of room to move, not a lot of room to breathe, that's what your soul is encountering within the body. So we have to feel that. And in order to work through that, we need to start to detach from that feeling of safety. When we surround ourselves with stuff and keep our lives full of things that really don't hold tremendous value for us, we feel safe. Okay, even though we don't have a whole lot of value in these things, we have an attachment to them because they make us feel safe. They make us feel secure. And when we're being asked by our higher self to start to release some of these attachments, we need to lean into that energy and start to let things go little by little by little. Now, this doesn't happen all at once. You don't need to totally clean house and move, like I said. But what you can do is start to recognize and sit with the emotions that are coming up of this attachment. I know when my mom passed, I had a lot of stuff from her, my dad, a lot of stuff from them that I didn't want to get rid of. I felt this attachment to it. Now I'm seeing it as stuff. I've healed the attachment, and the leftover programming, the residual effect of that is the stuff sitting in my reality. So now it's time for me to take some steps to get rid of that. It no longer holds any value for me because I've healed the programming that created the stuckness that's in my reality. Okay. So it all goes back to the emotional attachment within here, feeling safe, the ego wanting to accumulate. It's like It's like eating, right? Like when we emotionally eat, we eat from the perspective of the ego, and the ego makes us feel safe. Okay. We don't want to run out of food, right? Well, we don't want to run out of things. When we are not secure and anchored in our body, we need the things externally to help us feel safe. Does that make sense? If that resonates with you, drop a yes in the comment. So I'm going through this period again. I had some cars, a lot of, cars. I would buy cars, right? Cars, they made me feel good. They made me, try to feel like I was filling that hole within me. But after a period of time, they lose the luster. Okay. And I start to lose the attachment to them. They no longer hold the value in here that they once did. And I'm feeling like it's time to detach, let go, and move on. So I'm going through that. Now I had a couple of classic cars, sold one a couple of years ago, looking to sell the other one now. And it's something that an older version of me thought I would have wanted to keep forever. But you know what? I'm growing. I'm expanding in consciousness, grounding more of my higher self, wanting to pivot my life to in terms of fulfillment, to being able to help you grow and expand as well, and to navigate that healing journey. So the cars, all the things that I had really don't hold that value anymore. They're no longer needed to fill any hole or lack within my heart. It's the work that is the fulfillment. It's the grounding. It's the connecting with unconditional love and being able to share that energy with you that is fulfilling. So if you're feeling the need to declutter, know that you are going through a growth phase. Your higher self is grounding, looking to clear space within the body, and you are perceiving that as clearing space around you. So it's a great opportunity to start to detach, to work on that programming, feel it, okay, and realize what these things really meant to you. And for most of you, a lot of that stuff was just making you feel safe. There was an attachment to it that was just making you feel safe, making you feel secure. Maybe it was tied to some sort of a memory or some sort of a family member who's no longer with you, but you have the memories, you have the experiences. So you may be called to release the attachment to the physical stuff. And another thing I want to mention about decluttering is when you clear that space, okay, as you go through that process and you physically clear the space around you because you're clearing the space within the body, that allows for entirely new experiences, amazing, magical experiences that are in alignment with your soul's path to start to come forward, because you are now available. You're not distracted by all the stuff, all the clutter in your environment. You are available now. Your space is clear. Your body is clear. You're vibrating at a higher frequency. And that means you're going to start to attract a higher frequency life that comes with higher frequency experiences. So work to release that emotional attachment through this decluttering process. Don't have to dive in full. If you feel like you have to and just clean house, go for it. Start a little at a time. Feel the emotions that come up, especially if it's stuff that is sentimental and holds that kind of emotional tie to you. Sit with that, work through that energy, and then release if it feels right for you. You are inviting new experiences, new higher frequency light to come in and land and fill that space that's now available within your body. And that is going to reflect out into new coming into your reality. Go ahead and watch one of these videos that pop up on the screen next, whichever one resonates for you. I greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.